Hello, and welcome to the Album Afterlife, a monthly music podcast where we discuss your favourite albums from a creative perspective. And at the end of the episode, we'll reveal next month's album. Hosted by me, Georges.
And me, Nahren.
If you like what you're listening to and you want to know more about us and the artists mentioned in today's episode, our handle on TikTok and Instagram is at the Album Afterlife. And if you'd prefer to watch the episode, we are also available on YouTube. Just search the Album Afterlife. Just a little disclaimer, the Album Afterlife is not affiliated or in partnership with any other music publishing company, social media page, or in relation to any other artist and their respective label mentioned in today's episode, nor are we being paid to share our thoughts and opinions, which may include presenting an artist positively or negatively, as well as any secondary or tertiary artist mentioned in today's episode. All the opinions stated are unique to each host, and although we may state facts and figures, please do not take any of them as concrete, factual, or wholly accurate. Please use any metrics mentioned as a time-relative source. Things change, I change, and you change. You are now listening to the Album Afterlife. And speaking of albums, today we are going to be talking about PinkPantheress' Heaven Knows. It's PinkPantheress' first official studio album. She had To Hell With It, which was released in 2021. That was sort of like a compilation, if you want to call it, of just some like songs that she'd made from her bedroom, and she sort of released them. It definitely was a starting point for her, but Heaven Knows is her first proper studio album, and you can definitely tell with all the credits in the album. Now, my inspiration from thing is, she has a lot of credible people that have like written on it, produced on it, whereas in her previous Tell with the album, it was mainly just sort of her with like a little bit of collaboration from like other people. But you can definitely tell how it sounds.
She's also known for like sampling and interpolations and stuff, so that's obviously going to add to the credits. Yeah, but that doesn't take away from her.
100%. And my inspiration for making today's album was actually based off last month's episode when Nahren picked a very, very topical album. She did Olivia Rodrigo's Guts, very, very popular at the time, still has some popularity today, and I thought I'll take on that and I'll come up with another what I'd assume to be a topical album. The Spotify streams do say otherwise. A little bit fuming at that because it is a really, really good album. But regardless, I thought we'll hop on the same track. We'll do a bit. PinkPantheress, go off.
No, I was just gonna say, and also PinkPantheress is opening for Olivia Rodrigo, but not for her UK tour, so I will not be seeing her. But she is opening. Who's
opening for the UK tour?
I don't know. Let me have a look. But yeah, carry on.
I thought I'd take on PinkPantheress' Heaven Knows. We all know PinkPantheress for being sort of bringing back garage in a way where people that are like a younger audience can sort of like have a bit of appreciation to it, especially in this newer album in Heaven Knows. She definitely played a lot with live instruments as well, so you have a bit of like rock influence, you also have a bit of drill influence.
I think on this album she's gone away a little bit from her UK 100%. Garage, which you can hear in her early stuff on her mixtape, which is a bit sad because I love UK Garage and I think it definitely deserves a comeback because it was really big in the early 2000s and it's just really good, but it's hard to do well. I think that's why it hasn't made a comeback, but she does it quite well, I think. So yeah, and
she's quite well known for implementing like 2000s like styles and themes in the way she dresses, in the way she performs on stage, her purses, her outfits, very, very Y2K.
People call it like true 2000s because a lot of early 2000s fashion that's coming back now is very like, I wouldn't say it's not true, but it's very like selective. Like, it's like this is cool, so we'll pick this. Whereas like the whole scope of it, it wasn't always cool, but she makes it cool.
Like nowadays, it's like modernized, juicy couture that everyone's wearing out, and it's like, yeah, but that was cool at the time. But also like, where's the like striped dresses? Where's the tights?
The leggings.
Like the leggings. Come on now. Just wait for Galaxy stuff to be back in 2013. Cool, let's go.
No.
But yeah, that's why I picked PinkPantheress. Throughout the video, we'll also be mentioning a TikToker who goes by the name
and Rolling Stone
writer. So throughout the episode, we'll be mentioning a TikToker and Rolling Stone writer who goes by the name of Larisha, _ Larisha on TikTok if you want to follow her. She talked about PinkPantheress, and she did a little article for Rolling Stone, which actually was very, very good. Did you ever read on it?
Did I read it?
Yeah.
I didn't read the actual article, but I just saw the TikTok. But she's really like, she writes for Rolling Stones like quite regularly, and she has really good articles and things that she talks about. So make sure to follow her because she's really good.
And a lot of things that I'll mention, we sort of took inspiration from her because I'm not going to lie to you guys, finding some information for some songs or stuff about some songs was really hard for this album because it was such like it wasn't as popular as like Olivia Rodrigo, where, you know, a lot of things could be discovered. So some songs on my end, I'll have a tiny bit to talk about. But yeah.
To be fair, most of the stuff I'm going to be talking about is like purely opinion based and like also like musically, like like what she did rather than her inspirations, because I did see a few interviews of her from ID, but because she did a cover for ID, I think, but it was, from what I saw, it was mostly like silly goofy interview and not like
that's just her.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about the sort of the album cover, what we think of it. So you start first. You go all off.
Okay. Let me pull it up, but basically it's a picture of her and she's in a white dress, and then there's like a dove at the top left that's also white, and then there's like a stairway to hell, I think, anyway, even though it's called Heaven Knows and it's usually Stairway to Heaven, but then it looks like orangey, burnt orange, like red, and then it looks like it goes down on the other side. And I think it's a very good album cover because it's just like encapsulates what the album is, I think, because I've talked about this track by track, but you have like that death motif from the very start, and you can see that from the album cover, I think. And yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like what the album sort of like, you can just tell like what there's just tiny bits of the album cover that you sort of like, okay, yeah, I sort of get where this is coming from. And because she just talks about sort of death, life in this album, there's definitely that in the album cover. You have the dove, which is like, you know, when someone dies.
Yeah. And she's in a white dress.
Yeah, she's in a white dress. And you've also got this door at the back, which could be to hell or could be to heaven. And I think she titled the album Heaven Knows because she was like, oh, heaven knows. So in an interview, she was like, I love a good catchphrase. And I think it's really, really cute.
Anyway,
we'll be talking about that. I have things to say about that. If you listen to last month's episode, you will have.
And it kind of also, the title of the album kind of like goes really well with her mixtape. It's called To Hell With It. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it really
flows. I like the flowing. Okay. What are your thoughts on the initial thoughts on the album?
When I first listened to it, I was like listen to it all the way through because I didn't listen to her whole mixtape, but I did hear some songs obviously that I listened to quite regularly that I really liked. So I was really excited to hear it. And then when I listened to it, at first I was like, there were some songs I like, but I was like kind of like, oh, okay, like it's fine kind of thing. Like I didn't like love it. But then obviously the more I listened to it, the more it grew on me, and I do really like the album. There are some songs that obviously I'm not a massive fan of, but overall I think the album is really well done and she did a good job, obviously.
I'm on the exact same page. I feel like the second I sort of knew that she was going to be coming out with an album, I was like, oh my god, yes, let's go. And then I listened to it, and to me it wasn't necessarily an album that had grows on me. I feel like every song that I have liked, there have been songs on the album that have grown on me, but every song that I liked so much I still like now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, very weird because PinkPantheress is known for having short 1 to 2 minute songs, and in this album she actually gives herself some time to experience her like thoughts in every song. And it's almost like sometimes if I hear a song too much, as I've said, I'll get bored of it. So if it's a 1 minute song, it's the same song going for 1 to 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But in this case, no, because there are songs on this album that are only like 2.5 minutes long that are actually really, really good, and I would listen to them all the time. And we low-key love a slow back. We low-key love a fast song. We love a 2 minute song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I immediately loved the album throughout the whole way. Loved it at the beginning. Loved it when I first heard it, and a little bit annoyed that it came out after Spotify stopped counting streams for Spotify Wrapped. Because on my last FM, this is the second most listened to album of this year for me.
Oh, really? What's your first?
I think it's actually Capri Songs by FKA Twigs.
Okay.
And then like Red Moon and Venus by Kelly Uchis is somewhere down there. But yeah, really annoyed Spotify, fuming. But yeah, let's get on to the track by track analysis. So the first song I will start us off with is Another Life featuring Rema. Rema is a very, very popular Afrobeats artist. He's had collaborations with a lot of people. Throughout 2020, he sort of boomed up.
He had a collaboration with someone, and I was listening to the song, and I was like, "Oh, this is the guy on PinkPantheress' track," but I forgot what track it was that he was featuring on.
I mean, he has the baby come down. Selena Gomez.
No, I don't think it was.
Oh my god! Wait, no, I think it might have been FKA Twigs.
Oh yes,
it is FKA Twigs. But what song though? Another time.
Carry on.
But yeah, so Another Life begins with very, very electronified cathedral organs. Essentially, Larisha was saying this on TikTok. It essentially sounds like as if she's died, or as if her partner has died, and
it's giving very funeral, like
that's what you'd expect.
Like organ, piano, like you'd find that in a church, wouldn't you?
You 100% would. And it's very much like we've woken up, it's the morning, and someone has died. And through the lyrics of the song, she talks about, I guess you died today, which I actually love that line. I love the way the synths play with that line. It's actually amazing. I love it. And with me, how I took the song was essentially like she discusses a lot about vulnerability in this album, and one of the whole things is like, I'm in front of you with no makeup. So essentially, because of her being vulnerable in my side, how I view it, because of her being vulnerable, having the makeup on, seeing the true side of her, it's then caused someone else to possibly not like her, or in another word, exaggerate this idea of death, or that they haven't liked her so much that they've basically died.
Right.
And she also uses she interpolates a K-pop song from a K-pop group called F. Let me just find it over here. So she interpolates FX's Ice Cream song when she says, you melt up my body and all my heart. And in an interview, she was saying how she likes the idea that in K-pop, everything is so exaggerated. So it's like, I don't just not like you, I'm dead because I don't like you. Mm-hmm. And she's sort of taken that onto the song. And you can definitely tell through like the verse and the chorus as well. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a really good opening. At first, like what I was saying with my first run through, I actually thought this song, like I didn't think much of this song. I actually really liked the second track more than I liked the first track. But now listening back a few times, I really like this track. I like how it starts off strong with the like organs, like you were saying, because it's like very much giving like this is what it's gonna be like. There's other death like motifs like throughout the whole thing. And as for the actual song, I like really agree with you. I think like her like lover or whoever it was being dead is like a metaphor for like maybe a situationship. Yeah. That's what I wrote. 100%. So like they weren't like fully together maybe, but at the end of the day it didn't work out. In the song, it's like it's like the person actually died. That's how she's like singing it. But then she goes into, I guess we'll get all melt and all my heart. I guess we'll get all the time apart. Sorry, I was trying to sing the tune in my head and I just don't have it. But to me that sounds quite sarcastic, like, oh, now that you're dead, you'll get all the time apart that you wanted to have. It's how I'm taking it.
There's also quite like a push-pull, as we were talking about in her albums, where it's like, I want to be doing this, but then I also want this, and it's like I can't have the balance in between the two. Mm-hmm. And you can definitely that theme is quite overarching in the whole of the album. Mm-hmm. Like for example, in Mosquito, we'll get.
Oh yeah, I was literally thinking the same thing.
But yeah, I really appreciate the song. I like the song. I like Rema's verse, especially when it's like, what the? I think someone's on my shit. I absolutely love him, and I love his verse. And he honestly really added a lot to this song.
Yeah,
he actually genuinely improved the song.
Yeah, I think so too. 100%. I liked when, again, we were literally just discussing this before, and he's like, sex is my only therapy, yeah. And I was like, my guy needs to go to the doctor if that's the case.
Actual appointment. But no, honestly, I love the song from the get-go. It was like one of my faves, and it's still one of my faves. So yeah, really, really cute song.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add?
No, I think it was the opposite for me. I didn't think much of the song when I first listened to it, but now I really like it. It is one of my favorites now.
Just before we carry on.
Yeah.
There's also quite a lot of interpolations which we will discuss in this album. This album is ridiculed in interpolations. Every single song.
Riddled.
The album is riddled in interpolations. I never ever, or only for one song, but I never realized that until I was actually properly going for it, and I was like, oh my god, what is going on? And also a lot of
I don't. Sorry, George.
Don't apologize.
I was just saying, which I don't think we should come for, because like I said, she comes from a UK garage background, and in like hip hop, UK garage, like drill, like UK grind, like, you know, in stuff like that, it's very like traditional to like sample and interpolate songs, and I don't think that makes them any less creative. I think it just makes them more creative. I think so too. And also there's like a really rich history of like hip hop where like they weren't allowed to use like certain music or like do certain things, so like they had to sample and interpolate, and then they made it into an art. So I don't think we should come for people who do that.
I mean, in my eyes, if you can take a sample from a song, make it into a new song, and then have audiences be like, oh wait, this is that, then that's more creative than just sort of having the sample as it is like that.
Yeah.
And there are songs, and there's a song in this which has the sample as it is, and you can sort of tell. But in like this, like you would never expect me to, or expect anyone to sort of rise that's been interpolated from a K-pop group, which is really, really cool. And I love how she's been able to do that. And yeah, throughout a lot of her songs as well, very, very atmospheric, especially in Ophelia, which we'll get into that in a while.
So the second track is True Romance, which, like I said before, this was the track where I was like, I liked it from the get-go. I was like, wow, I really like this song. She actually, I saw on TikTok, I couldn't find the person's name. Like, their TikTok name is Grossboy2.
Yeah, I think that's what they go as.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what they're...
Okay, yeah, because I couldn't find their name, and then I also tried to look for their Instagram, but I couldn't find it. But it just popped up on my For You page that basically he had, like, written a song, like, produced a song, and he got, like, a random message from PinkPantheress, like, but not on her official account, being like, oh, I really like this track, like, can I use it for a song? And then he said, hey, she just wrote, hey, it's PinkPantheress, I think. And then he was like, oh, it's not an official account, it's obviously, you know, one of those like, oh, hi, it's like LeBron James, yeah, I promise that I'm gonna pay you back, I just need some money. He thought it was that, but then she actually contacted him through her official account, being like, I like the track, I want to use it for a song, is that okay? Which I think is really cool, like, because obviously I don't know how big he was in the TikTok or online world, like, for producing, but like obviously, like, he's not like Dr. Dre, do you know what I mean? So like, it's really cool that she did that, and that, you know, you don't know who's listening to your stuff, basically. So like, if you're a producer and just putting stuff out online, just carry on doing that, because you never know who's listening.
You might get PinkPantheress asking you to sample it.
Yeah, exactly. But the actual song is about an older musician, singer that's like, in my head, quite like well established and like really well loved, and how she's been a fan of this person since she was really young, and now she wants to try and convince them that she really likes them, and that, you know, to take her on tour, and this is not just an infatuation. It actually really reminded me of Eminem.
Any specific?
No, just because I really love Eminem, but I didn't get into him until I was like until a few years ago, even though he was a part of my childhood, because my sister was a really big fan, but like, I was never like a stan until a few years ago. But it's when she was like mentioning like 2004, I was like, yeah, he was big in 2004, like that would be exactly this kind of time. Not saying that it is Eminem, but also I think the song is like maybe a metaphor as a whole for like just being famous and like being a singer, because she's like, bring me on tour, help me understand, and it's like, help me understand what it's like to be famous, I guess. It can go both ways, like, it can be about a celebrity crush, but I think it can also just be about her wanting to understand this new environment that she's in.
I feel like she was like writing in third person, as if the person on stage is essentially her.
Right, yeah.
And it gives me paparazzi vibes, Lady Gaga paparazzi vibes, from the camera flashes in the beginning, from like all of like the wire noises. She sort of opens up with the idea of like, there's so many girls around you that I'm scared. So it's like this like really popular like celebrity, and like she's trying to sort of be the center of attention in like a crowd full of people. And you know, she goes, tell me, do you call me stranger? Whatever the line is. And she just plays the idea of being sort of vulnerable, being like not being seen kind of. And this song also interpolates McFly's 5 colors in her hair.
Oh yeah.
She goes, baby, I don't care about the fame.
Classic.
Yeah.
Why was I actually thinking? I was like, I recognize that, but I didn't know where it's from, and now I know where it's from.
Just the legend of PinkPantheress.
Yeah.
Just doing it. And it's quite cool because this is PinkPantheress, and she is notorious for trying to keep her life as normal as possible. She has a bag on her stage. She doesn't care about like the fame. And so for her to sort of like open up about being popular in the public eye in the song is quite, you know, vulnerable of her. And, you know, once again, it's an overarching theme you see in the whole album. And it's not one of my personal favorites, the song, but it does a good job of capturing the environment and capturing how, like, overwhelming it might be for someone, how, like, vulnerable she feels. So song number 3 on the album is called Mosquito. Originally, I didn't care for the song until literally 2 days ago, and I was like, actually, the song slaps. Essentially, this song is about money. Money is her obsession. She wakes up on a Monday. She says, can I check my numbers? She's obsessed with checking her bank accounts, which I originally thought when I didn't care about the song, I was like, oh, it's just someone checking like her phone numbers, right? Like, random. And then she says, okay, maybe not. We'll go up on a Tuesday the next following day. Can I check my numbers again? She's obsessed with the idea of money and what money can bring for her. And she also says, another line, it's appalling how I lose you. So she knows if she loses money, what it's going to be for her. Mentally, it's not going to have a good effect on her. Essentially, she says, I just had a dream I was dead. I only cared because I was taken from you. It's like, once again, the whole exaggerated thing of like, I've just died, and the only thing I can care about is that I have no money to do whatever I want to. I really, really like it. I also like the little window break. Where she goes, can I check my... And like the glass, something breaks. I love that so much. There's also this part where she goes, spending you the day that I want. And it's like, call me dumb. This is the dumbest point I'm ever going to make in my life. But it's like she's spending you the day that she wants. And it's not just like a repeated line. It's like the day that I want, whenever I want. And it's really, really cool. It's like the dumbest thing I've ever come across, but it's really, really cool. And also the title Mosquito, I was like, why is this song called Mosquito? And it's like, I guess a mosquito sort of leeches on, it wants blood, it wants something that's good for it, it wants something that's going to make it survive at the end of the day. And what makes it survive? Money. So essentially she's leeching on like a mosquito onto money. And I really, really, really appreciate the song. And that glass break at the second bloody verse is so good. But yeah, Karen, what were you going to say? Any thoughts?
I love this song. Like, I really like this song. I think it's one of my favorites of the album. I said that for the like True Romance too, but like, I really like this song. Have you seen the music video for this?
No, I have not.
I've not seen the full thing. I've seen clips of it, but it's her and India from Queen Charlotte from Bridgerton. Anyway, she's in it, and like a few, and then 2 other people are in it. I don't know who, but they're going shopping. They're going shopping. I really like this song. I also...
Oh, is that the cover art for the... Well, there's a cover art on Spotify where she is like a video and she's like walking with people. It might be...
Yeah, that's it. I also think this is about like... No, it is about money, obviously, but I think it's about just her rise to success in general, and like her like imposter syndrome and like peaking too early, I think, which is something else in a later track that she goes into. But just her being worried that like she basically, this is her first album and she'd already blown up before her first album through like her mixtapes and just being on TikTok, and just her thinking like, am I gonna lose this like in any way, and her not wanting to. But yeah, I really like the track.
I think she also mentioned, speaking of her rising to fame too early, she also says, and Lord, you answered me too early. Yeah. I was too young starting out. And it's like she knows that she has like, she's sort of like pushing the idea between wanting to be famous, but like she's gotten this fame way too early that she doesn't know what to do with it. And she's not.
I'm worried it's going to go away.
Yeah, too early. And then in turn, the money will go away. And that obviously won't be good for her because all she cares about is money. And if it goes away, she will die.
Yeah, so the next song is The Isle, which at first I was like, I'm going to shit on this song. But that's not true. I'm not going to shit on it because it's actually a good song. Obviously, like, what, like, it's not a bad song. Am I going to say that? No, because that's just not true. But it's just, I don't know, not one of my favorites. And that's fine. The song is basically, I think anyway, about her being in a toxic relationship and...
There's actually not a lot to find about the song. I'll be straight up with people. There's not a lot to get at the song.
Yeah.
It's like an amalgamation of things.
Yeah, like I think about her being in a toxic relationship but her still wanting to marry this person. But the one line that really confused me is like, so now I'm booking all my tables for two. Yeah. But the line before that is her saying how like they're not together anymore. So like, why are you booking your tables for two?
I'm going to just say, like, you know,
that
this
really
whole push and pull thing, it's happening in this song because I don't know what the song is on about, for real.
Yeah.
The only thing, as you said, was that it's, like, to do with the wedding. They're walking down the aisle. Like, I can only imagine that, like, she says something in the chorus about, like, wishing the best for something, like, wishing the best for you so you can be walking down the aisle so you can be with me. So, essentially, it's like, oh, yeah, we might be shit in this relationship, but as long as, like, you know, I'm wishing the best for you so we can go down this aisle together. Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah. It says, the sticky situation with you made me start booking all my tables for two. And at first, I thought it said made me stop booking all my tables for two. But then it says start booking my tables for two. But she's in a sticky situation with this person, so...
But what if it's like the sticky situation is the good situation? Like, it's like, you don't know if it's going to be good. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
We might be something. You never know. That's why it's sticky.
Right. So what, they have to meet to sort it out? Maybe. I don't know.
Or like she has the hope of having her tables booked for two and not for one. So that's why it's sort of sticky because she doesn't know where the other person stands.
Right, okay.
Just some like food for thought, speaking of tables. But no, I love, this was the first song that I listened to on the album. And I was like, yes, I love this song. Because it's very, very disco-y. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. In the second verse, there's like a section of like string instruments and there's like almost string hits and it goes bow, bow. It's so good. That makes the song for me. Those little string hits, and once again she just talks about the idea of like her being afraid of like losing people, where she goes, she's running out of people to lose. And it's just sort of a direct like reflection of how she is in like a friendship or like a relationship. And she sort of like doesn't want to lose this person. She's probably put everything aside for this one person, booking all her tables for two, blah, blah, blah. And she doesn't want to lose this person. But no, I really enjoy the song. It's like probably my favorite, solely based off like those little string hits that you hear. Any other things you want to add or any other bits?
No, all I have to add is the capitalization of the titles throughout this album really pissed me off.
I didn't clock that. The thing is,
it just really annoys me. Like, I don't know, the way she's done like the titles, like The Isle. It should be a capital A or it should all be lowercase. Like, why is the T in the capital? She does it all throughout.
Oh,
I don't know. It really pisses me off. Sorry.
What would you have expected it to be like? All? Would you have preferred it to be all smalls?
For me, it's either everything is lowercase, everything.
Yeah.
Or you capitalize the way everything should be capitalized.
Yeah, so the shouldn't be a thing.
The T in the, if you're going to capitalize that, you have to capitalize the A. She does it all throughout with every single track. Sorry, that's it.
We'll head to the fifth song, which is Nice to Meet You featuring Central C. At first, when I listened to the song, I was like, hold on, those 4 chords at the beginning sound very, very familiar. Have I just gotten on something? Has she plagiarized a song? And I added it to, I have a playlist and it's called Songs That Sound the Same. It's just every song that sounds the same. And I added it And I was looking through the track and I was like, you know what? This has got to be just taken like from it. And it actually was taken from, what's the song again? Like
Gold by Spandau Ballet.
Gold. Sorry. I love that because I clocked it onto it and I was like, oh, I'm going to sue and I'm going to sue so good right now. But no, I really, really like it. And she said that as well that she actually really, really enjoyed it and she wanted to take that sample for a very, very long time. Now, the whole song is good, but Central C's verse is what makes the song. He talks about his ex. And there's a really funny line where she's like, long story short, like she's on TikTok doing story times. And it's actually the best thing ever. It's essentially about his ex. If you don't know, guys, Madeleine Arky. I don't know how you say that. She hosts Call Her Daddy.
No, she doesn't host Call Her Daddy.
She doesn't host Call Her Daddy. Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't. She was on.
She was on. Sorry, Madeleine Arky.
He's meant to be obsessed with Call Her Daddy too.
I'm not obsessed with Call Her Daddy. It's competition. It's competition time. But I really, really like it. And essentially, it's just about like the song is essentially about like her. It gives sort of a housewife effect where she's like, you tell it best because you're like, you say the story because you tell it best. Ha 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 ha. And it's just like her devotion to her partner. Essentially talks about his part in the relationship. Sort of, he tries to be the best he can, but he's doing quite a lot of like things outside. And sometimes PinkPantheress in the relationship can have that sort of like, but you're talking to other girls. And he's like, no. I'm actually talking to my other guys. You can even check. And he says that on.
Oh, really? I didn't get that at all. Let me get into it.
Eek. Pop off.
Okay, well, I really like this song. I love the song. It's really good. I really love it. I really like the producer's tag at the start. I don't know why. I like
okay, that's on YouTube.
Yeah, I really like the producer tag. And also the music video, fun fact, was inspired by a TikTok edit. Like someone made a TikTok edit of a K-pop group, and then PinkPantheress like someone that this person, like the person who made the TikTok edit, must have known, like, and met PinkPantheress, and then PinkPantheress was like, you inspired, like, there's a video of her saying that edit that you made really inspired me to make the music video how it is. So that was really cool. I think that was.
It's
really
very
nice.
Fruit to Get inspired, like Fruit to Get era inspired, the music video.
As for the actual song, I really like Central C's verse. I think it's really, really good. And like you said, I think it makes the song, but loads of people online really hate it, and I just like, are they American? Like, are they not British? Maybe is what I'm thinking. But I really like it. But the thing is, I think that they're talking about two different things.
Oh,
like I don't think there's any which is fine, but I don't think there's any coherence to what they're saying other than the fact that they're both talking about relationships. But he's talking about his ex and how he cheated on her, and she's talking about how much she loves this person that she's with and that she'll do anything for them, even like get into a fight with someone for them. So I don't think they actually correlate, but in my head anyway, I didn't draw the way that you drew the song, but I really like it. Yeah, she's on TikTok doing story time.
It's really, really good.
Risk it for a biscuit.
Yeah, stuff like that where there's like sort of British catchphrases. Maybe I'm just very, very, true Britain, and I love my British catchphrases. But when Olivia Rodrigo was doing it, I was like, no,
nationalism for me.
It's the patriarch. I love it. No, but I love the way she also says like motor as well. She goes motor. She doesn't say motor, which is really, really cool. And I like the song. It's up there with my faves. It's not top tier level for me, but it's up there with my faves. I think Central C did something to it. Pop off.
Yeah, next track, Bury Me, which is again adding to the death. Like, she keeps on talking about death in this. It's quite morbid, actually, if you think about it. But for me, the song is about giving. What did I write? I wrote kind of giving complicated vibes in the fact that someone is pretending to be someone else. She still likes him, but not that much to pretend. Okay, I realized what I just said. Sorry, that was a really messy way of me saying. When I say complicated vibes, I mean like the song "Complicated" by Avril Lavigne.
Oh,
where she's basically, as in not the genre, but the way she's talking about in that song, how someone is someone different in front of like all his friends, and how she's like, that's not why I like you, like the way you act in front of your friends and how you put on a front is kind of gross to me, and I like you the way that you are when we're alone, and you're being your true self. I think that's kind of giving the same vibes in she's like, she's the one who feels like she has to pretend to be something else with this person, but like she likes him, but she likes this person but doesn't like them that much to pretend that she's someone else.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I sort of catch the drift. This song is a little bit confusing in that sense, where it's just like the aisle, where with me, I just couldn't...
Don't know what she's saying.
I honestly don't know what she was talking about, because there's a lot of things. How I took it was essentially like, once again, there's these like two people, and like PinkPantheress, she sort of is asking or isn't asking for a reason to end the relationship. Right. She's like, I almost wanted to tell you, but I didn't. And it's like, oh, no, I couldn't tell you, so now this relationship has to end. Like, I guess it has to go away.
Right.
And
she's making excuses.
Yeah, essentially. And she like flips between won't and can't. She's like, oh, you won't do it, but can't you do it? Like, why can't you do it? And it's also the song features I don't know how you say that name. Kelala? I don't know how you say that. I listened to like 2 of her songs from her album. It came out in 2017. Actually, a really good album. I might do more digging on that. But it was me thinking that Kelala was sort of like a binding force between her and PinkPantheress. Essentially, they were like in a relationship, like together in the song, and it's sort of like Kelala is trying to be like a binding force between the two, trying to sort of find reasons to stick together, and PinkPantheress is once again like pulling the strings and saying, no, I think we should break up a little bit. And it's really, really cool, because I clocked in this album, there's almost like 2 parts to this album. The next song is an interlude, and throughout the first song, you get like cathedral organs. This song's called Bury Me. So it's like we've been through all that phase, and now this is officially Bury Me.
Bury Me. So
yeah,
you were at the church service, and now you're at my burial. Yeah. Like in the graveyard.
So essentially, like the whole story between the first and the song is like, what's happened for me to end up here, and this is the reason for the excuse of why I've just like died. That's why I took the song. So the 7th song is Internet Baby, which is an interlude, and PinkPantheress said that this is not one of her favorite songs.
She said it's crap.
Yeah, it's very, very funny actually when she goes, I got this rhythm for you. It gets something like, why? And it in what I took from it was that this song is sort of aimed towards PinkPantheress sort of being successful, and it's about how people sort of view her online, where she is their internet baby, and she has a line which goes like, my SDs, USBs, you want all of those, and it's like, to the fans, it's like, you guys love me so much, but you guys just like sort of want the music, you guys want me to give you sort of everything, and like you want to borrow my clothes, you want to borrow my style, you want to borrow how I go about everything. Don't mind the song, it's an alright song, it's an average song for me, but that's just my take. You pop off on that one.
I said this song is not one of my favorites, but like you said, it's an interlude. I said I like the thought of it, like the thought of the song, like that she's an internet success, in the same way, the same TikToker, was it Larisha? She did like an article I don't know how long ago, but she did an article where she was talking about like internet successes, and like kind of like how they use social media to like cultivate their following. So like Doja Cat did it, Lil Nas X did it with Twitter, and Halsey did it with Tumblr, and PinkPantheress did it with TikTok. And I think that's just like kind of building off it. And I think in the song she's saying like she sets the trends online with like her clothes and her music, like you were saying with the like SD and USB line. But I think didn't take it as like fans, which I think like makes more sense. But in my head, I was like, it's someone else like wanting to reach her success and basically copying everything she's doing. Like copying her style, copying her like music, but like is not reaching the same success as she has, because obviously no one's better than the original. But I think when she's saying like I am not your internet baby. I think she's kind of like saying like she wants to like move on from that. Like not saying that she's not appreciative that she's like cultivated. She's used TikTok to like get her following, but like now she's ready to like jump off of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, right. Okay. Next song is Ophelia, which starts off with the harp, so like kind of giving heaven vibes again with the death, but this time I don't know, I guess she's in the afterlife in heaven. And the song is like really good. I kind of just recently, like I've been listening to this for like basically since it came out. How many weeks has that been now? Like 3 weeks. I've been listening to it, and I think just recently I've been like, wow, I actually really like this song. Like I usually just listen to it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. But it's basically a juxtaposition. It's like juxtaposition in terms of like the music and the lyrics, because the lyrics is her actually describing like someone killing her. It's kind of giving like a true crime kind of like someone that she's with killing her, and it's giving like Kill Bill and like Kim by Eminem vibes, but like on the flip side. So instead of the murderer's point of view, is the person that's being murdered point of view.
We talked about exaggeration. In here, she's exaggerating. She sort of was rejected from someone, and the only choice now is to kill herself.
But someone kills her in the song.
Well, yeah, because someone drowns. Essentially, it's based off Ophelia, which is the character from Hamlet.
Oh yeah.
And she drowns herself because someone rejects her, so she drowns herself.
Wait, is that Hamlet?
Yeah, the whole drowning thing is emphasized by like the sound.
Why do I forgot my GCSE English? Sorry about that.
I did Macbeth, and I was like, not Hamlet.
Yeah, please. I did Macbeth.
Yeah,
so
that's the reason. It's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
As I was saying, the instrumentation and the atmosphere of it all is very, very there in the song. At the end, she's drowned herself. You can hear the bubbles. You can hear everything. Like you can hear the waves. You can hear the sirens.
So is she saying that she killed her? That someone killed her, but really she killed herself, but they killed her because of the rejection? Is that because like?
Essentially, it's because in the last song, in "Bury Me," she finds a reason
to leave.
So essentially, it's like she's killed herself, but someone else killed her, as you were saying.
Right. Okay. Carry on.
And yeah, as Nahren was saying, I actually didn't like mind the song. Then I started I started liking it more when I understood the context behind it, and especially like the whole Hamlet like link. It's like really, really cool. And I'm more appreciative of the song now because of the background. And yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Nothing
else to add. No.
Cool. So the 9th song is. So song number 9 is called "Feel Complete." Essentially, this has very, very, very Amy Winehouse, alcohol vibes. Back to square one with this one. And essentially, it's about a relationship that PinkPantheress is in, and her partner is attached to alcohol. And that's where they sort of get their personality from. They only have the money that they want to spend on the alcohol and nothing else. There's a line that says, "Money came today, and so you'll get what you want." So you'll get the alcohol that you want, and the only thing you want to spend money on is drinks. And she almost talks about hiding herself away with this one person and sort of shielding them from everyone else, kind of. There's a line where it's like, you don't feel or it's like, now I tell everyone that you don't feel well. And so she sort of wants to find a way to end the relationship, and she wants to find another one. Also, the song references, interpolates Colosa. I think it's actually Colosa, by Oxlade, where she goes, "Oh no, baby, oh wait. Oh, that time I was in babe."
Sorry, I'm just trying to look for that rum line. Why can't I find it? But basically, I wrote what you wrote, which is about someone that she loves having a drinking problem or like alcoholism, or some form of addiction, and I guess make that better with the whole like, or like not air this person's business out to like their friends or whatever. That's all I really had to say. Like the song as a whole, like it's okay. Like I don't love it. I don't hate it though.
Are you on Blue?
Yeah, I'm on Blue. Sorry, I'm just reading what I wrote.
Sorry, no, don't worry.
Changing her whole personality and look to give someone else what they want, but they're not in contact anymore? ? It's unclear. Who? Because wait, it's unclear who, and the chorus is catchy. Okay, thank you, past Nahren. I appreciate that.
I don't know what I wrote as well.
I don't know. Just so basically, I guess Blue is about her. Yeah, because I was thinking like, are they in contact anymore, or are they not in contact anymore? Because I don't think it's quite clear either way if they're on contact anymore or not.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming no. I don't know whose fault that is. Hers or theirs? I don't know, because at one point she says something, I don't know what she says, to imply that she's not going to be in contact, like, you don't know, we're not hanging anymore or something like that.
Yeah, I get, but I don't have it written down, but yeah. I get.
Sorry, carry on.
No, it's alright. I'm a bit confused about this whole thing. With me, I've got, song is about being with somebody and copying their antics, but when they leave or when they break up, you can't copy them anymore. So it's just like being with someone and being attached to them, and then like when they go, that's it. Like you're left on your own. You're blue and sad, because blue is a sad emotion.
Yeah.
But that's essentially.
I guess you'll never know. I'm not hanging with you.
I'm not hanging with you. Oh yeah.
So like, because she's saying, I guess you'll never know. I'm not hanging with you. I'm assuming that means like she's not told this person that they're not hanging out anymore, but. I don't know, the rest of it kind of implies that they stopped hanging out with her. So who knows? This song is confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing. Thank you, Pink, for making this episode very, very challenging for us.
Yeah.
Like,
we're a bit dumb.
Yeah.
We can't.
Cool, cute. So I feel like that will lead us nicely on to our 11th song. This song is called Feelings. It's... What have I gotten written down? I said, it talks about like her being... famous, doing music, where she goes, breath comes out in me, it's my philosophy. With me, I took it as if it's like the breath is her voice, it's her music, and that's her philosophy, it's what she does, and it's who she is, and what she stands for, it's just making music. And we talked about peaking too early, and in this song she references peaking too early. She literally says, "Where's I'm peaking too early." I have that melody is. And it's a little throwback to Mosquito, where she's gotten the money, she's peaked too early with this money, she doesn't know what to do. And you got another throwback to True Romance in there as well, where she's like, this feeling that I pay for you on stage while you're on the stage. Wait, how does the melody go? This feeling while you're on the stage. This feeling I pay when you're on the stage. Yeah. Wow. We just know everything.
We are just singers, like, can't you tell?
Too good. And yeah, throwback to True Romance. If she was talking about her being a fan in True Romance, now she's gotten to the point where she's the artist, and she's sort of talking about her being the person on stage now. And as much as she's quite anxious with the whole idea of being famous and successful and being a music artist, she's also liking it. She's also saying it's everything I've ever wanted. That if she actually says this is everything we wanted.
Swish, I feel like you said everything about like what the song is about, her peaking too early, things like that. But I also wrote production is Shy Girl vibes. Don't you think there's and also like the way it starts, like the beat of it reminds me of a Shy Girl song, but I just don't know what Shy Girl song it reminds me of.
Now I want to low-key hear it. But this whole album is very, very reminiscent of Shy Girls too.
Yeah. Well, they kind of do the same kind of like genre. Yeah.
So the 12th song, and in my head, what should be the final song of the album, Capable of Love. Let's talk about this. Capable of Love is essentially about her being once again devoted to the person that she's interested in, and expressing the idea of like this vulnerability, where she's like, she says, "You're the cause of my grief and I haven't slept well in a week." And essentially after this breakup of some sort, she realizes, I can't be capable of loving someone as much as I've loved you. Everything she now sort of does is around that person. So when she was in the relationship, she got a palm reading just to prove how much they were meant to be together, and to prove how much like they were meant for each other. And really and truly, the song is the last song of the album.
I was having that exact same thought. Like literally, I only had that thought while I was coming here. I was listening to the album, and I got like to the end of the album. Like I got to this song, and I was like, okay, end. Like, I feel like that should have been it. But I really like this song. It's one of my favorites. In my head, maybe it's like I said, like her being in love with the situationship. And she's just like saying like, this is it for her. Like, if it's not going to work out, which it most likely is not going to work out, then that she's not going to have the capability to love anyone else after this situation. And yeah, I really like this song. It was a single, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I just really like the song. I have nothing else to say. It's like a good song. Boys a Liar, Part 2. A classic. Did really well on TikTok. Not on TikTok. In general. I don't know why I said on TikTok. It did well on TikTok too, but it did well in general. And this is like a remix of Boys a Liar, but it's like the go-to now. I think this is the one that everyone plays now. Anyway, and I don't think Ice Spice like makes the song. I think they both play off each other really well. I think without the catchy chorus, like then Ice Spice's verse will just be like okay. But I think they play really well off each other, and I really love the song. I think it was put on there just because of how well it did. Like literally just thrown at the end. I don't know if she could have maybe like put it in somewhere else, like in the middle of the album.
I was honestly trying to go through that as I was like discussing it. I was like, okay, let's just take a little breather and see where this song could go fit in. And I looked for all the songs. There is not a single, in my head at least, there was not a single place where the song fits in. I think they genuinely was like, hey, let's just put Boys a Liar Part 2 on it because it's got 700 million streams, and when we're promoting the Heaven Knows album, we could just say, this is Heaven Knows by PinkPantheress with the iconic track Boys a Liar Part 2 for marketing's sake.
Right.
That's my genuine opinion on this. I don't think this should be here. I think the only reason was so that it could get the hype that the song had.
Right.
And I do vouch your opinion on both of them playing an equal role. I think sonically they sound really, really good together. I do feel like the popularity of the song was mainly increased because of Ice Spice's verse, especially in the US. I do feel like she's had a chokehold in the US, Ice Spice. But it's cool because of that, PinkPantheress is now... She's also had popular songs as well that have charted in the US, that have done really well in the US, but I feel like the main reason as to why it got so much streams and so much love was because of Ice Spice.
Right.
It's like a little, when artists come and it's like, one more song. That is the one more song that everyone sort of wants. It's a good song. It is what it is. It's got Ice Spice on it. It's just been there for marketing's sake, really and truly. I do feel like through the whole album, as we've just finished, there's sort of like, as we were talking about, essentially there's two halves of the album we discussed. There's Another Life, then there's the Bury Me Kelala song. That's one half. After the interlude, it's sort of every song after the interlude, apart from Boys Liar, I'm never going to think of Boys Liar, it's just PinkPantheress on her own. So essentially it's like she's been through all these experiences, and after, she just has herself to reflect on.
Right.
She can't have anyone else to reflect on. So my favorites on the album, I'm going to do 3 this time.
Okay.
My top favorite is The Isle. I absolutely love The Isle. Don't roll your eyes. And then I also like Mosquito. That's a really, really good song. And then I'm going to do Capable of Love. What are your favourite songs?
My favourite songs, I wrote Capable of Love as well. I really like that song. I like True Romance, like I said before. And, I mean, I like loads of tracks on this album, like Another Life as well. That's like a mention though. But I think True Romance, Mosquito, and Capable of Love, probably my top 3. I think the best in terms of like written well and like, well, loads of songs are written well, but like best in terms of like, nice to meet you. Yeah, I think
I figured. But yeah, that was the album Afterlife on Heaven Knows by PinkPantheress. Let's get to next month's episode. Nahren will be the one deciding what album it's going to be. I have my ideas. I would love if it was Stormzy's recent album. I would love that. It could be Lauryn Hill. It could be Fugees. It could be Beyonce's Renaissance. It really could also be Eminem. She's thrown that hint in the mix today. So I don't know if it is going to be Eminem. I'll be excited, a little bit nervous if it is Eminem, because it'll be a lot of things that we'll have to go into next month. But nonetheless, I will let you do the talking.
Can I ask you a question first, though? Is that okay? Do you want to know the question?
Yeah.
Who had Eminem on the first album? Who had Kanye saying she's a problem? Do you not get the reference? Nicki Minaj.
Wait, we're doing
it's Pink Friday 2, bitch.
Yes!
As if you didn't get my reference. That feels wasted on. She has.
Oh my god. When's that coming out?
December the 8th.
Okay.
Is that not the album you wanted to pick?
Yes, it was.
Because I was like on Nicki Minaj's Instagram and I saw that, because I was like, I'm pretty sure Pink Friday should have been out by now.
Yes.
I went on her Instagram and it was like, oh, it was been delayed until December. And I was like, wait, hang on a minute.
I was fuming.
And I remember what you said last week about how you wanted to do a new album, but it got delayed. I was like, this bitch was picking this album. Yes. Well, I'm going to pick this album. I was going to pick Eminem before this, and I will pick Eminem at some point. But hopefully he's on this album, because he's on Pink Friday 1. He's on.
Could you imagine?
Who had Eminem on the first album? So I'm hoping.
Not released a track. Okay. I need
well,
the track.
Not last time
but
I
she
checked.
fucking has tour dates out. She crazy. She has tour dates out. Or should we have to go?
I did say once, oh, do you want to go see Nicki Minaj with
but
me?
The
and
is,
then you said, I promised other people.
But I've got groups lined up to go to see Nicki Minaj. So I've got to go through all of those.
Okay. Well, and this song is off your favorite album as well. So I don't, Nicki Minaj album, so I don't know why you didn't get that reference.
What?
Fuming.
Pinkprint. You know.
But yeah.
I'm excited then, because I was going to do it for this episode. But you know what, Nicki? But it's fine. Take your time. Hopefully it's a good album. I expect to see good features. I expect to see throwbacks to Pink Friday. I don't expect to see anything new. I want to see me in 2010 being 8 years old.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, thanks.
Literally, I want to take it back to that time, which it should be if it's a sequel. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited.
That concludes today's episode of the album Afterlife. If you have enjoyed what you've seen, feel free to follow us on social media, the album Afterlife, and also our separate social medias if you want to do that. And if you haven't enjoyed, then just don't do anything really and truly. And we will see you guys next week. And we will see you guys next month.
January. The new year.
Oh my god, it is, isn't it? Fuck. We'll see you in the new year for the album Afterlife's episode on Pink Friday 2 by Nicki Minaj. Yeah. So yeah.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
See ya.
Take care.